June 27th. So much birthday month. Welcome everybody. Bucket fills, who'd like to share today? What's something good going on? I know I've seen pictures of babies and listings, and who would like to share something? Yes, Ken.
Listing I've had for almost 2 years, a big commercial 20,000 square foot bank building. I got under contract, all cash deal, hope close next month.
Congratulations. Very nice. Anybody else want to share? Come on. Go ahead. Oh, you're like, let's get going.
We're about to go live. It's getting closer. They're just finishing up the last of the remodel.
That's Rebecca's first listing. Congratulations. All right. For me, the bucket fill today is, I am so grateful that Dan has come to visit with us today from the city of Buford. And he'll be up in just a minute and to share all the great things about what's going on in our front yard and backyard. Tiffany, is Tiffany here? Nope, two wheels haven't come in yet. All right, Kelly, I know is not here. Joy and Tim, or Joy today. Joy James today. Tim is here. He's actually working on the class that we're doing at 12:30. So we'll need to talk about that. 12:30, come back in here when you grab your lunch. He's gonna talk about some unique kind of non-traditional products. Okay, so it's kind of part two, but y'all come back in here. And then I know Tiffany talked about last week a little bit of, there's scammers out there, right? So I just want you guys to be aware of some things that are going on. I mean, you see it all over social media, but we had a case, it wasn't us actually. I had a customer, new construction with a builder that we work with. They decided to go with another lender last minute. They were supposed to close this week actually. So last week, maybe the week before, they decided to switch lenders. Last week, they got an email from their lender and said, here's our wiring instructions. Please wire your money to us. And so they wired $200,000. Oh, yes. And they've already sold their house and they're just living with relatives, and I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. So they've gotten the FBI involved, both banks involved. So just so you know, that's out there. We never, ever, ever send wiring instructions. No, never. And I never even put like a Kelly Sword, call her Kelly Sword at hand. Here's the phone number. I never put that in email either. I call the customer and I say, this is who you need to call to get the wiring instructions. I want to talk to the person directly because I don't want someone to intercept that email. So just so you know, we never do that. But just educate your buyers because I think a lot of that's going on. I know Tiffany had a horrible example last week as well. So just wanted to pass that along. You have to educate your buyer, just have them talk to someone directly. FYI on that. And do you guys have any mortgage questions? Everybody always wants to know about rates. They're like high sixes right now. But Last topic today.
Just non-traditional products.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. They're called our Smart Series. So it's part two.
Yes. Quick question. Is if somebody's going to buy another home, does it have to be 50 miles away for a second home?
That wasn't like a rule at one point. Somebody came up with this 50 mile. Not necessarily. It just needs to make sense.
Okay.
Like I might have a home in Buford. Like I might live right around the corner here in Buford, but I might have a lake house in Buford.
Okay.
But the lake house made sense, right? That's my lake house. This is my primary residence right around the corner. So it doesn't have to be.
Okay. And one other question. Is there a difference between, let's see, a second home rate and an investor rate?
At one point, a second home and a primary residence were real similar, but last year, maybe even the year before this point, that they changed the second home. It's almost like an investment. It's not quite as high, but it's not like a primary residence anymore. So there are some adjustments for a second. Okay. So it's going to be higher than not quite as high as investment, somewhere in between. Yeah, and 10% down for second homes. That's good. I'm glad you're bringing that up. So as a mortgage company, we look at three types of purchases: primary residence, second home, investment property. It's going to be one of those three. And it just needs to make sense. Some people will say, oh, this is going to be my second home. And are they going to rent it? I mean, there's some kind of red flag there. Good. So we ask a lot of questions, and a lot of times, and people get confused with this too. If I'm selling a home, but I'm buying one, but the new one's gonna be my primary residence, that's fine. They just have to write a letter, because sometimes they'll say, well, I'm not selling my home, my current home yet. That's fine. They just need to write a letter stating, what I'm purchasing will be my primary residence, my current home we will be selling later or renting it out. Okay, so people get confused on that too. Good question. Anything else? Okay. We all have a good Fourth. It's one of my favorite holidays coming up. Thank you. Good morning.
We're just wheeling.
I was like, "Come here, two wheels."
Yep. Good morning, I'm Samantha Colleen Sorhan. Today I just want to tell you a little bit about, no, I don't want to say foreclosures because it's more than that, but like asset management company owned products, that are selling more right now. I've seen more FHA and VA foreclosures in the past like 3 months come across my desk than I have in the past 3 years. So, which is still not a lot. It's really not a very, I may have like less than 5 a month. But for a long time there, I wasn't having any. So, you might see these. They are very, if you have never worked with foreclosure sales, I think they're very easy to work with, but they're very detail oriented. So when you guys get those checklists at the beginning of the process, it's really important to get them to us as quickly as you can, because there's a lot of things that we have to sign and give back to the asset managers within 24 hours of you receiving them. And I guess I should take a step back for those of you who have not done foreclosures at all. An asset manager is someone who forecloses on a home. They don't have the staffing or the knowledge or the, want or desire to deal with selling these properties. So they'll hire a company that comes in, and that's the asset manager who takes care of gathering all the information on the property, listing it, working with the agents, paying all the bills, negotiating all the contracts. So they're really the primary point of contact. And then they have everything signed by the seller. But just to give you an example, like there's an earnest money form that's due on both of them within 24 hours of you receiving them. We have to sign it, send it back, verify that we have the earnest money. So it's really important to have that conversation with your buyers where it's not a traditional sale where you might have 5 days or, a little bit more time to submit earnest money. If we don't provide proof within 24 hours, that contract can be voided. There's one that's due within 48 hours that confirms vesting. And that's really important that you let the lender know that, because I had one this morning I had to run by the office and sign. And it was 3 people and they hadn't decided how they wanted to vest yet, because it was a married couple and their son. All 3 of them were going to be on the loan, and they didn't know, do we want joint tenants with rights of survivorship? Do we want tenants in common? And you have to decide those things within 48 hours of going under contract. So it's really just be prepared for that. If you're making an offer, hey guys, we're going to have to really work with the asset manager, because if not, and same things, like I had to call the lender and say, you've got a middle name on one of the borrowers, but not even middle initials on the other 2. Do you want, oh yes, we need middle initials on the other 2. You know what I mean? So just little things like that. We have to have everything really perfect up front, or else you're going to have a deed that they'll have signed in the next 2 weeks, even though it's not closing for 45 days. And once that deed signed, then your lender's going to have to match their deed. They're not going to redo it, which can be troublesome with some government lenders. Like, I don't want to match their deed. So just be aware of that. Just get us involved as soon as you can. I don't want to misspeak, but most of the attorneys in the firm had, worked through the last kind of foreclosure era. And again, I'm not seeing a ton of them, but just be mindful when you're showing property that if you're showing foreclosure listings, it is very, very important to get on the ball at the very beginning. And if you've got buyers who've been impossible to work with, impossible to get things from, it may not be the best home for them. Just it's just not in the cards, because it's a lot of work up front, but then it's really smooth sailing after that. So it's just really getting everything in order up front. But if y'all have any questions, call us. I hate to say I'm an expert after working through 2008 to 2014. Really, we kind of all are. But they're really easy to work with. There's some great deals out there. Just gotta get everything else. You have any questions? You will. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. All of our amazing vendors, if you're here, please stand up and say good morning. A few of you here. Yeah. Then we'll start with you.
James with Inside Building Solutions. We do radon mitigation, mold, water, fire restoration, also renovations as well. One thing I want to let you know is we can also help you guys out by collecting at closing. So, something to keep in mind.
Everybody's like,
I'm Stephanie. Good morning, my name is Stephanie Keith, and I'm the organized check professional organizer. We help with packing, unpacking, and getting your client ready for a move.
Make every deal a sure thing, drop down your sure thing home inspections, home load radar, news construction, sewer scopes.
Gary Joke Express.
Oh, I'm doing a presentation today, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we changed that.
yeah. Gary is our lunch sponsor. Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate y'all. And free profit share. We have a couple profit shares. You want to hand these out? Let you do the honors. They're in the room.
Teresa Smith.
You.
David Williams.
He's like, whoa.
Ken Blake and Shay. Beverly?
Beverly's over here. She's hiding behind Kira.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Beverly. And David Blanton, is he not back in? No, he's not
No,
here.
can't come back yet. Anyway, round of applause, guys. Good job. These are our top 5 earners for the month of May. Total over $34,000. Year to date, almost $140,000. So if you want to learn more about how to get mailbox money, come see us. June classes and training. We only have a few left. 27th on Zoom is Rachel. Stuart and Demetri are doing a class for teams and command workshop on the 28th. Mortgage, the last one is today at 12:30. And then our last free CE class for the month, the contracts class is on the 29th at 10 with the broker boys. July tech training, here are the dates for that. And you guys remember we changed the format of the calendar. So all the tech stuff is on one side and the coaching is on the other. So make sure when you're looking at the calendar, it doesn't look as full anymore because everything is on the side kind of laid out by like area. So just remember that. July mixer at Top Golf. This is gonna be on Monday, July 10th from 5 to 7. This is an agent only event. It is solely being sponsored by Guarantee Mortgage. Thank you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Where's she? Yeah. So please, Alicia's going to send all this out as well, but register. We do have a cap on participants so they can play on the amount of days that we have. And so just please register on attending so we know if we need to look at adding something else or adding more, we can handle that for you guys. So look forward to that. Top Golf. Not Top Golf. Golf tournament. Golf tournament. Clark's not here, is he? No, everybody, because he says everybody. Everybody's included. I saw some agents that have shared this on their social media. Please share this. Please share this with your vendors that are not part of this office. Anybody that you know that you feel like would benefit and would love to be part of our Cures for Kids organization. Mega Camp, August 15th and 16th. I know I saw the signups. There's a few going so far. Would love to have people there. I'll be there. Jason is going. There's a few agents here that are going, so I'm not sure if anybody has thought about going, but would love to see more people go. What's going on in Buford? And this is not Brian. This is Dan. So without further ado, Dan, come on up. David Williams was so kind to help organize this for us, and we appreciate having you. Of course. Awesome. Welcome.
My name is Dan Branch. I'm the Public Safety Director for the City of Buford. Jack of all trades, master of none. And I'm the go-to guy when dealing with SPLOST and the things that are going on in the school system. What we are working with right now is many of you know what the SWIFT funds are. If you've not, I'm going to give you a brief education on those. We are right now in the middle of after COVID, the federal government gave us a lot of money. They just threw it out there at us. And they said, yeah, this will be the easiest thing you've ever done. It's a lie. So SLRP is the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Project. Okay. And what we decided to do at Buford is to do things, do it with our infrastructure. you know, we don't have a police department or a fire department. That was really good. There's only 4 of us that are sworn, certified police officers. I'm one of them in the city. We abolished the police department in midnight 1975 because they had to make a choice. Either keep the school system, turn it over to the county, or abolish the fire and police. And the police and fire went bye-bye. And they made a good choice. Buford City Schools is one of the few, what we call in the nation, a corporate with the city and the school board. So Chairman Philip Beard is the school board representative as well as the elected chairman. So when the city commissioner runs and he automatically becomes the chairman of the school board because our funds are interchangeable. We're the only school system in Georgia that does that. And it was set up that way a long, long time ago before I was thought about. And it works very well. So, you know, one of the things when Buford hired me, they said, when you come to Buford, everything that you do in the city will be to reflect the school system. And that is a true story. The city employees, what we do is we support the school system through the budget, through all the things that we work to do in Buford. Things that are going on right now, the slurf, what we've done, I talked about infrastructure. We have started the replacement of some antiquated sewer lines up on Lake Near Islands Parkway. As you know, sewer works by gravity. And the old pipes are very small. They're having some flow problems. So we're doing that. Those are all coming down Waterworks Road, New Bethany Road. All those are in project. The Marino Police Splash is from the 2014 splash. We are still moving. I know it's a slow process, but when you're dealing with special local option sales tax money, it doesn't go fast. So we are right now doing a Marino Street improvement. And what it's going to be a streetscape project, just like Hill Street, Lee Street, and Main Street. And you're going to see a lot of improvement. We're still moving utilities. We're still acquisitioning land and things to do that. We're trying to make that. The first project that I was involved in was the parking deck, and that went really well. And we're building a park. It's called an arts park at the end where people that come down, you can sit. There's going to be a fireplace in the middle that warms up, but you can't touch the fire. Nobody can burn by it. It's kind of a neat thing that they're doing. We looked at that. There are 3 in-house drawings of what we're going to do in Main Street. We're going to come back and redo Main Street. One is the parking issue. Many of you that visit downtown, we are one of the top attractions from people coming from South Carolina, North Carolina to come downtown. We are attracting a lot of businesses that are Bare Bones being one of them. On the weekends, if you come down here, you need to ride down and look at the tags because of the cop. I look at tags, and they're all from out of Gwinnett County and all county. We get a lot of people from out of state that come to stay here. That's what we want. And so that's that. We've got 3 things. One of them is no parking on Main Street, and the commission has not decided this. But we've got so many projects going on, and we are looking at if you're in a business and you order wine or a drink, you'll be able to carry that drink out to another location, like if you're shopping or walking. We're still going through this. Roswell does this. It's very effective. But it has to be a certain place in the city under our ordinance. As you know, the stadium thing is the foremost thing that you see going down Buford Highway. We are still in the acquisition stage. We are doing some landscaping up there, some infrastructure for that as far as drainage and all. And we're waiting for the EPA. They're the ones you have to please because there's a creek involved. So that's
Where is that exactly? Where is that
On
exactly?
Buford Highway, right across from the high school. That's where
Okay.
the stadium will be. And there will eventually be a flyover from the high school. We do have plans for 600 parking spaces on the side of the stadium, but we're going to be able to park across the street and you're going to come over a flyover. I went down and looked at the one that's in Noonan. I really like that because it's a safety thing and plus we advertise Buford on it. And what I like about it is you can't, climb up or jump off and kill yourself or anything like that. I really like that a lot in my business, but it's really nice. If you're ever going south, going to Florida, you can pull off there and they built a big hospital across the interstate, and that's how they get back and forth over there. And we really like that one. That's the one that we're looking at. More of the coronavirus projects that we're looking at, our water plant that's on North Waterworks Road, it was in disrepair. We need that. Some of you probably didn't even know we had a water plant up there, but when the Army Corps of Engineers created Lake Lanier and the planning, only 2 municipalities were given the authorization to pump from Lake Lanier. One was Gainesville, one was Buford. So in the lawsuit wars, water wars between Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, Buford and Gainesville were dismissed immediately. So the judge said, well, this is no brainer. You guys are allowed to do it. So we're not involved in any of that. So, and we can pump from Lake Lanier and all that. But one of the funny things about this is I'd love to, when Charlotte Nash was the chairperson, I said, you know, if the feds rule in our way, we'll have the largest, Buford have the largest water plant employees of anybody in the world. Because they'd have to stop pumping out of Lake Lanier, but it's still in court now. So, we are doing some expansion to our existing school system right now. The middle school is busting at the seams. We have gone in and we've done an addition. We're adding a lunchroom. We're expanding the lunchroom in the middle school to come out and house more people. We've added 18 classrooms by taking out the old athletic stuff in the gym in the back of the middle school, and we created 18 more classrooms for that structure. It was a lot less expensive to do that than to try to build another building. We are adding classrooms in the junior academy. If you're not familiar, we have the Buford Elementary, then we have the junior academy, senior academy, middle school, and then the high school. And so we're adding some classrooms there, but our biggest expansion right now is the senior academy, because we're expecting over 1,000 something students in the fall. So as you go up Robert Bell Parkway off Buford Highway, you will see that we're working on that right now. Now, one of the unique things about Buford is that my boss, who is an engineer, Brian Curley, he manages the projects for the city and the school system. And of course, the school board votes on the types of project we have, but we're basically the people that manage those projects. And we bid it, we do all the architectural stuff and get all of that out. So, and a lot of people don't realize that, but that's why. And sometimes it's very, very, very slow. We have we have a sewer plant. The sewer plant is located off Davis Road, south of the city. And we're making some improvements there. Eventually, we have made a contractual agreement with Gwinnett County to handle so much sewage, and this is a very expensive operation. And so right now we are covered, I think, for the next 5 years. But at some point, when we get good and done on this project with the water plant, we're going to go back and redo the sewer plant. So the way that one other thing I want to talk about is the let's see, the slur funds update sewer project. We are doing some Buford is kind of unique. You probably remember, if any of you were around that time, we were involved in we get our money through Gwinnett County in the SPLOSH projects. So they divvy out the money, and you may remember that back in 07, when everything started going south, Gwinnett County decided that they would not share the funds. And if any of you were in there that time, and so the cities took on the county, and Habersham County Superior Court judge heard the case, and we are very fortunate in Buford that we get SPLOSH funds not only from Gwinnett County now, but from Hall County, and it's divvied out based on our populations in both areas. So about 28% of our city limits is inside Hall County. And so that's a big plus for us. And so there are a lot of projects going on right now. And I want to finish up a little with this, some concerns I have regarding your jobs. Okay. And all of you know that you have a job that is actually tracked by the United States Department of Labor. And so I have some statistics here, and I do this because I was with the Gwinnett County Police 37 years, and most of that time was spent in homicide, working homicide cases in Gwinnett. And I retired in 2011, and I was going to be the chief in Toccoa. And Mr. Beard had other plans, and I was 58 then. And he called me up and he said, "Hey boy, you bleed green and gold. You need to come up here." And so I did. But one of the things that you need to know that since 2017, assaults against real estate agents nationwide have just gone up. So in 2017, there were 48. In 2021, there were 64 real estate agents assaulted. So I know that you guys have safety protocols in place. Don't take those for granted. You're in an environment where you don't know who you're going to meet sometimes, and you don't know where this property is, because you have to go where the money flows, so to speak. But I ask you, I had if any of you remember where the La Hacienda condominiums were in Norcross, these three corners, I worked an induction down there with an agent, and she did not tell anybody where she was going. I was able to solve that case and send him to prison for many years. But I just want you to know that I just saw some statistics from the National Association of Realtors, and they said that 33% of the members fear for their safety and the safety of their coworkers when they're out. But when you interview the ladies, 44% they concern themselves. So I know that you guys with Keller Williams have protocols, and follow those protocols. I'm serious about that, because that I mean, for you to be tracked by the U.S. Labor Department, that was kind of interesting to me when I was thinking about that. And I want you to be safe, and I will take questions now. Yes, sir.
Can you speak to, or is this allowed to be talked about with the legislation the state just put in place for Buford not being able to annex?
I can tell you it's going into civil court.
I thought it was, but I had heard that and I was like, wow, that's an overreach by the state, in my opinion.
It was, and if you look at who proposed that from Hall County.
Oh.
I'm not shocked about that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Good as rude. Seriously. Yes, sir.
When you get the sewer done, I mean, I know you gotta do the water treatment plant, and then you gotta go to the sewer. Are they planning on increasing capacity when they do that, or?
Yes, yes, because if you look up on Lanier Islands Parkway, there's a lot of undeveloped land up there in Grove, and one thing that for the citizens up there, we just did the groundbreaking for a super fire station up there from Hall County, and it's going to be, and we need that. We needed that for those citizens up there. There were only 2 stations that covered this whole area, and now there's going to be 3.
Wow.
Yep. So
I have a question on Buford Highway where, I know, David, you had shared when they had to go through and aesthetically reface all the buildings, make all the updates. What, is there a time frame on when all that, they're required to have that done?
No, and if there is, I don't know. There's one. We're just pushing for that right now. So, and another thing is, I know you're going to hate this one, but we are involved in a project with the city of Sugar Hill. Tony Bassett, who is the assistant city manager, and I are working on this project. You know where we're 6 lane till you get to Buford Highway? Well, that's going to change. It's going to be 6 lane and a new bridge going over the railroad going that way, and that's going to be kicking off, I think, by the end of the year. So be aware of that.
More construction.
I know it pays the bills, but one other thing too is I know that a lot of the citizens here are upset with Norfolk Southern blocking the tracks. We are meeting tomorrow morning with Andrew Clyde and representatives of Norfolk Southern. We have 6 crossings in Buford. Okay, I really don't care if they block the crossing at Willards or the crossing at West Buford where the church is. But the reason we're meeting with them is that these super trains that come through, for many of you that if you don't know, the railroad is managed by NTSB. they decide all the stuff, and that's like, you know, when you're a train engineer or a train conductor, what I understand, the union is involved in this. If you're on a freight train coming from North Carolina, and when you get to a certain part, you just stop. And a shuttle comes out and picks you up, and you just you lock up the engine and you go away, and that's what's been going on. The reason is it's starting at Waterworks Road, there at the railroad, and going down to just before you get to Swanee, okay, when you go into Brogdon down there. That's the longest side rail they have in North Georgia. And we've just felt like that they're taking advantage of us. And, you know, the railroads are here first, I understand that, but you'd be surprised, people have called me and said, hey, they got this thing in California where we can stop the trains from blowing their horns. And I said, well, you don't know the real story to that. The real story to that is the city would sign off on all the liability if somebody gets hit by a train because they're not blowing the horn. We're not going to do that. And, but that's the reason for that. But I just, they save money. It's about money is what it's about. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. And, last week I counted a 384 car train. Went through 3 engines in the front and 3 engines in the middle.
Wow.
That's a lot of revenue. So
They're just stopping you to get something to eat.
I wish it was that simple because they leave quickly, but they're not. And the longest I have tracked is 38 hours. Walk our track 38 hours. So that would be almost a week, you know, if you were.
So they literally get out of the train and get in the car and they leave. the
Yeah,
train
they
just
leave.
locked up.
They get out and they get their stuff out and they leave. There's 3 people in the cab: the engineer, the conductor, and a brakeman, whatever that is. And that's what they do. So we're meeting tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock with all the big wigs with Norfolk Southern and Congressman Clyde and us to see what we can come up with. It kills us on our bus routes.
Oh, I'm sure.
It just kills us.
Because it's right next to the school.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned your Main Street project, taking away parking on Main Street.
Yeah.
Is that permanent or? just
No.
on the
That's
weekend?
they've got 3 plans that are in-house right now. I would like to see parallel parking on both sides. You have to remember, I'm gonna use my notebook. If you stand on Main Street, it's like this. If you don't realize this, the railroad side is like this. So anything we do on this side has got to compensate for that, because if we don't, all of those businesses on the railroad side where the old depot is going to flood and rain. That you couldn't build a drain big enough to capture all of that. And so that's what we're dealing with. That, you know, there's all kind of to not do it. But one of the things that we are concerned about, the city manager and myself, is that, you know, when people are walking, there's a big step off right there. So all that's got to be taken into consideration. The thing that we're thinking of is, you know, those big pottery plant, you see the tree plant things that like Roswell has. We'd like to see that, but still have parallel parking. So if you're sitting outside on ground level, they got to go through a car before they can hit your table, is the way I look at it. And that's kind of the stuff that we look at when because everything that we do to change a road now, there's some liability behind it. And it's just the way it is.
So Dan, is that where, I know at one council meeting, they were talking about maybe doing outdoor dining on some of those restaurants.
That's it. That's what that's about. All of that. Yeah. But if you do outdoor dining, it has to be confined, which means there would have to be a barrier outside where you just can't come in and sit down at the table. That's what they do in Roswell and Alpharetta. It's my honor. Thank you for having me.
No more questions? You guys good?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops.
Oh, there he is. Awesome. Come on up. Is everybody in the room that got? You ain't room not. They're loud.
You know each other now, though.
Beverly, yeah, okay. Hey, you met Tiffany?
How can I serve you? So I feel like I'm trying to get through the calls to reach out to as many of you guys as I possibly can. I don't know if you can imagine this. I have a lot of other stuff that I could do, even though I'd much rather meet you face to face and meet as much of you as I possibly can, like I said in my video, which I hope you guys didn't hate too much. But what I want to do is I want to start small. I didn't have a huge calling in the sense that when I put out my script or a power hour video. So I think want to basically see if there's a time that I can do about an hour a week and we can obviously expand. And I just want to know what you guys want from me, like how can I help support you guys in your business? And how can I share my expertise and with you guys? So my contact information is there. I think I'm going to plan something midday on a Wednesday, and then that scheduling is going to be super fluid. And it can be expanded based on, the feedback I get on how I can help support the coaching with an hour and also support all the agents who aren't in coaching. So just want to share as much as knowledge as I've gathered with you folks. So.
Yeah, and I want to add that since now that we have Josh here and we have a full team, Demetrius here, so we have our staff is full. And so we're trying to now figure out really what the needs are of the market center and the agent population. And really just would love some feedback. And you can share that with anybody on what you guys would like to see. So we've had several that want to do speed dating, but role playing. We all stand up and you go down the line and do just role playing the script practice, which is a ton of fun and you laugh. It's a good time. But really, this is the time of year where I think it's summertime, it gets hard. People get really comfortable and not working on their business. And what you do today is going to affect your pay in the next 60 to 90 days going into the end of the year. And so we want you guys to know that we are here to support you, make you accountable, help in whatever you feel like your business needs. And if you don't know, make an appointment, come see myself or Josh, and let's sit down and make a plan to get you where you need to be so your rest of the year is planned out and to be successful. So that's the big thing. Now that he's here, we really are starting to kind of allocate who's going to be handling what and really want to support the coaching program and just the agent body as a whole moving forward. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, and we can talk about me sharing my Calendly link for the afternoons also. Gary and I have had the opportunity to, talk to Milton for maybe 15, 20 minutes, but we've had some pretty good conversations to where I was able to share a little bit of knowledge and ended up helping him out. And so I want to be able to just be a second set of eyes and ears for all of you. So please let me know how I can help support you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Gary, you want to come on up? And actually, before you speak, we have a new face in the room. Travis, if you'd like to stand up. This is Travis Young. He joined our market. I just wanted, it was new face, and usually I tell everybody, because I think everybody in here kind of knows each other now. We do the whole, if you don't know the person sit next to you, take it back to church, shake a hand, introduce yourself. Anyways, I want to let you guys know that we have a new person in our KWNG family, and please, when we get done, go introduce yourself.
So, I'm one of the owners of Junk Express. We do junk removal, hence the name. We do single item pickup all the way up to order houses. But a little bit about myself. I know y'all two were in the military. In the middle, put your hands up. Did y'all know that they were in the military? That's what we're talking about. Go to church, say, yeah, right. Anybody else in the military in here? Really cool. What branch? Army. Yeah, baby. Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so I was in the Army for 11 years. And did the Middle East and Asia and Europe, jumping out of airplanes, helicopters, all this crazy stuff. And with that being said, I bring that leadership back to our company to where our guys, Derek can confirm this, that it's like a brotherhood. We're a very close, tight-knit group of guys. And when we get together and we're doing a job, we're not smoking cigarettes and drinking and hanging out and showing up drunk and occupying your home. We're in and out. And we're trying to provide value to you and your customers. But when we do represent you as an agent, we're not talking about us. We're talking about you, and we're going to make you look like a rock star to your client because we want that repeat, that referral, maybe the review for you guys. But I don't want to keep it too long. We've got pub subs. And then after this, I'm gonna do a little slideshow. What is that called? Photo, what is this? I'm doing this. The PowerPoint, there it is. Yeah, like, it's like a 10-slide PowerPoint. I'm gonna show you some border stuff that we did, video, and but you can eat lunch in here. If you don't want to watch it and eat, then that's fine. But yeah, thank you.
Well, and let me help before you walk away. So you guys all know, if you don't know me that well, know that Gary is a friend of mine. We work together personally. And then with my previous role, that's how we made the connection. He was my partner in the everything but the house role when I did my massive estate sales, multi-million-dollar homes. His crew is top notch. If anybody was at Red Day, you know the caliber of the people and how hard they work and who they are. And so I just want to say thank you. We appreciate you being part of our market center personally and professionally. And you are an extension of us, and we couldn't ask for a better partner. I think with the crew and just how you guys carry yourself and the effort and just, I think your servant heart and how you lead your people, it's very,
100%.
very prevalent, and that's what we're looking for. We really appreciate that. Yeah.
Do you handle have a donations, or does everything just go to them?
Yeah, so trying to think, there was, so what we'll do is, the way it's gonna work is that we set up a 2-hour window where the technician will arrive with one of our trucks or multiple trucks. Then the client's gonna go, hey, look, this is what we have. They're gonna go this, that, walk around the property, you're gonna identify things. And the guys are gonna be like, okay, that's donatable, that's donatable. And it's beneficial to both parties. So the client gets the warm fuzzy and I don't get the dump bill. So so our fees go down. So I encourage it, and I get angry if we don't. But yeah. So a couple big ones. So fur kids, if you have a house in Roswell, Alpharetta, Forsyth County, Fulton County, call Fur Kids. They're the best donation center. It's the largest no-kill shelter in the Southeast, and it's all funded by their donation centers for the thrift shops. And then the second one would be No Longer Bound. And these two are guys that the companies that will show up with a box truck and then they'll remove the items for free from the home. So you don't have to pay us to do it. And so if a client, that's one of the very first things I ask a client. 1-800 Junk's not gonna do that. College Junk's not gonna do that. I don't know any other junk companies that do that. We're losing money, I guess, but that client, we're in for the long haul. So, but yes, we do donate a lot of stuff. So, and then if somebody needs something, because people know we're in the business, like a washer, dryer, beds, there's an agent here, and I remember his name, because I'm terrible with names, but he's partnering with a church charity that they take mattresses, and we can't get rid of mattresses, but with him, I think we got 4 or 5 to shop ready for him. And it goes to people that need a bed. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and you come across a lot of stuff. So
Come across a lot.
if anyone has any family needs or some stuff, some stuff we're not giving away.
Yeah.
But just, he's a good brain to pick and just a good resource for y'all. So if you come across something that somebody's looking to put, that they're, because somebody's junk is someone else's treasure, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's needs are different. And when you're in a situation, I know that we had a family about 6 months ago that their home burned to the ground. They lost every single thing they own. So a set of glassware, a set of dishes, which we all see at Goodwill, like every single day, that's the kind of stuff that, you just never know what somebody's looking for. And he's a good resource for that. So before it
And
comes
the
to the
advice is always free. So if you have a client and they don't need junk removal, but they need stuff taken out and you need Stephanie Peace to come out there and stage it for you and get some stuff out of there, give me a call and I can walk you guys through it, and it's free. So
if a client needs your services, they just give you a call.
Yep.
And then you come out for a free estimate to let them
And
know?
so it's a free, no obligation appointment. So during that 2-hour window, we're there to quote the job and do the job. So if they go, hey, thumbs up, price is good, we'll go ahead and remove the items right then and there. Yep. And you can also book online if you have like a 1/6 of a load, which, but if it's 1/6 of a load or more, when we do the job, it's $20 off for the client. So, hey, living on Lake Lanier, thank you guys. And,
tell them what you don't take.
so we don't take hazardous materials, used needles. We have.
Unintentionally.
No, intentionally.
Okay.
An apartment in Elliott, you'll see, I don't have any picture there. Elliott Norcross is Wild West.
He does a lot of
we don't
apartment,
take-
like their dumpster areas, like, cause they're overflowing, he'll go, they call them, to come in and clean out stuff, and that's.
And apartments, we're doing an apartment trash, we call them trash outs. Somebody leaves or they get evicted, then we take all the stuff afterwards. The guys are heading there right now to another Roswell apartment and they hate it, but it's Like it's good money in the wintertime. So, we don't take, I tell people we don't take propane tanks, but somehow we get propane tanks in the shop. And then gasoline, diesel, we do take wet paint. So if you have wet paint, here's another thing. I don't want to take too much time. If you have wet paint, if your customer has wet paint, or you have wet paint, because every single home that somebody buys has wet paint, has paint, because the other owner was like, I don't want to get rid of it because I don't know how to get rid of it. What you do is you're gonna take kitty litter and you're gonna mix it 1-to-1, right? So if it's a full can, just keep it in the thing and you're gonna double bag it and then you're gonna put it in the trash can. Right, that,
Kitty litter,
yep, kitty litter. Double bag, no, well, if it's a full can, it's been unopened and you need to get rid of it, well, there's a couple different ways that, some counties have days where you can get rid of paint and it's free. Otherwise, if it's already been used and say there's however much in there, you're just gonna put kitty litter in there, keep the top off, and it's gonna absorb all that paint, and then now it's a solidified piece of garbage, so it can go in your can. Yeah, regardless of what your company tells you, waste management tells you, it absolutely can't go in there.
Kitty litter is king.
Yep, kitty litter is king. So, yeah, but if you do have one like orders, sorry.
Put the cat in there too.
You can put the cat, but yeah, we've picked up dead iguanas. There were this, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't want to make it throw up at lunchtime. But yeah. Cool.
Other than that, and also, you've chainsaw boats apart, you've chainsaw,
Yeah.
hot tubs apart to get them in the truck.
So we did, I wish,
Chelsea.
Thea and, Chelsea, we did one for Chelsea. There was a hot tub. It was a last minute thing. They were closing that day at like 3. She called me like 10 or something. We shifted around the schedule, got everybody out there, and there was a hot tub and all kinds of stuff. But then there was one Ian and Judy had that was like a hoarder. It was what I call a crackhead compound in the backyard. They had built this, they had taken like interior doors and all kinds of stuff and built like a little home, and then like down was like another little home thing. And then there was like a hot tub inside of that, or an interior garden bathtub inside of that. But there was a truck back there that didn't know who it belonged to, an F-150. There was a boat, the trailer, there was probably 40 lawnmowers and overgrown and rats and all kinds of stuff. And we went in with the Bobcat and tore everything down, pulled that truck out. I ran the VIN number. I found out who the person was. I contacted them, and it turns out to be the neighbor. So I said, hey, neighbor, we're going to impound this, and it's going to be behoove you if you take this to your property. Otherwise, you're going to get fees incurred until the end of time, because I know you don't have money to get it out there. And then we took the boat and we cut the boat in half. And then we regraded the yard, and then planted, or we seeded and sodded it, or seeded and strawed it. And then, that homeowner was like, she was crying at the beginning. She was so upset about the situation. But then I got there and we started talking, and it was like, hey, look, Angela, just go rest. And then in like 4 days, we were completely done. She was like, holy yes, this is absolutely crazy. And that's on one of our Google reviews. It's like one of the best Google reviews, and I'll pull it up here in a little while. You can see the before and after, but Mr. Hartwell.
What's your coverage area?
So it depends on the money. We went to Tryon, Georgia. Does anyone know where Tryon is? It's like Alabama. On a Thursday at like 3 o'clock, and the guys got super pissed. And I was like, dude, it's, and it was anyways. But we'll go, typically we go, our shop is based in Cumming. And we'll go as far as Dahlonega, Marietta, Lawrenceville, sometimes Athens, down to Atlanta. We really don't like to go south of, that middle line in Atlanta. But if the money's there, if it's a big project, like if we're doing a big demo, or if it's a mobile home, we can.
Like in Royston?
Are we tearing it down?
Almost stop.
Yeah.
Is it what?
Are we tearing it down?
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
We'll talk.
Yeah. And I've got reviews, so I've got pictures before and after, so. So we also. So we also tear down mobile homes. We, and I'll be the person out there. We get a Bobcat and a couple big dumpsters and start tearing it apart, and then regrade the land, and then in and out. And even if it's on septic, there's a whole process to it, and I can walk you through how to get that done. And it doesn't cost anything until, we say, hey, let's knock this thing out. So, but yeah, sheds, hot tubs, treehouse. If it's in the attic, the crawl space, there's spiders and bed bugs and brain them. Yep. Yep, yeah, just, we've done, well. Well, anyways. But,
Everybody.
yeah. Yeah. A guy passed away in an apartment in Atlanta, and he wasn't found for 7 days. And we did that. And that smell, that lingering is the ozonator. And Thea and Judy were doing it at the home that we did for them, the big demo job. And I almost vomited in there because that smell. Anyways. Enjoy lunch.
I mean, how many young guys are like spreading the seed? So enjoy lunch.